4 Beliefs That Do Empaths In. This is a short excerpt from my book, Shine Again. If you want to learn more about anger and the feelings of revenge towards a narcissist, as well as recovering from narcissistic abuse, see my book Shine Again by following the link in the description below. There are 4 main beliefs many empaths hold that narcissists exploit. Often, when you find out a person is narcissistic and have been using you, part of what makes you mad at the narcissist is that the narcissist has shattered your trust in these 4 beliefs that you may have built your world map around from a child. This scares you as you suddenly realizes the world is not what you thought it is. Number 1. A good behavior must be repaid with another good behavior. This belief forms a basis for the tit-for-tat interaction and is often the one that hits the empath the hardest. Empaths often look back at what they have given towards the narcissist without anything in return. However, frequently the empath does not require an actual action or payment in return. What they often desire more is recognition and acknowledgement for what they have done. They are shocked to learn that the narcissist does not value and often does not acknowledge what the empath did for them. This belief often stems from a lack of recognition and love the empath received as a child, and the fact that they were only good enough when they did something that pleased their caregiver. Thus, they will keep going and give in hope that surely this action is good enough to be recognized. This belief is frequently the reason many empaths go into the armed forces or into healing services. For what greater act can you do for another person than to save their life, or even lay down your life to save theirs? Surely you must be good enough then. Sadly, according to the narcissist, that is what is expected of you. Thus, realize that when you do a good deed, it does not need to be recognized nor repaid with a good deed. Life is not always fair and in balance. Just because you were nice towards another person does not mean they have to be nice towards you. And if they do not return your kindness, you do not need to keep them in your life. Number 2. There's good in every person. Empaths often have a deep subconscious belief that they are good and wish for people to just discover how great they are. It is often why empaths do not like to brag and advertise the help they do for others. They secretly want people to discover what a gem they are. It comes again frequently from a lack of love at childhood, and the empath secretly wishes that their caregiver would finally see what a good child they are and love them. The empath then projects this belief onto other people and believe that if the empath just digs harder, they will bring out the good in another person. It is a mistaken belief then that if they can save the other person, often the narcissist, they in return can be saved. When the empath finally realizes that the narcissist has no good in them, it is a shock to their belief system. For they are faced with a question: do I have good in me? And am I as useless and evil as I've been told? To give up on the narcissist feels like they are giving up on themselves as well as giving up on their caregiver. They have to let go of a dream of finally being good enough and receiving love and praise from their caregiver. This is a massive struggle for the empath and causes a lot of fear and anxiety. For what if I am as evil as I was told? And if there's no hope for the narcissist, what hope is there for me? The empath needs to realize that they have been lied to, that there are people who either have no good in them or the good is buried so deep down that there is no hope of digging it out. And the empath can choose to be a good person no matter their past, and that they cannot save another person. Another person can only change if that person wants to change. Number 3. Love can conquer all. The empath often believes that if they can just show the other person how much they love them, the other person will change and love them back. It stems partly from a tit-for-tat belief, but also often from childhood where love was absent. The empath mistakenly believes But if they can just get the caregiver to realize how much they love the caregiver, often being the parent, then they would finally be accepted and loved back. This is a bitter pill to swallow for the empath or victim of narcissistic abuse, to realize you love someone who does not love you back. Frequently the person gets hung up on the notion, but I love him or her. How can they do this to me? It is from a mistaken belief that if you love someone, they must love you back. And if you love them, they must change their actions. To show how flawed this is, if you were walking in the street and see a celebrity you're crazy about, and you go up to them and ask them to marry you because you love them, do you expect them to say yes just because you love them? If you do not expect the celebrity to change their life for you and suddenly love you just because you love them, why should the narcissist? You cannot force someone to change or love you because you love them. That is not love, it is needing them. An argument can be made that the narcissist said they loved you. Well, yes, people lie. There are two reasons the narcissist may have love bombed you and told you at the start of a relationship that they love you. One is that they genuinely were infatuated by you and believed you were the one that finally are going to see their greatness for the grandiose narcissist or fix them for the vulnerable narcissist. However, when they later see your shortcomings, they realize you are just as flawed as the other partners they had. Then they hate you for tricking them into making a mistake in choosing you. They often stick around to use and punish you for tricking them. Make no mistake, after the love bombing, when the first punishment is dealt to you, the narcissist no longer loves you. The second reason for love bombing you and saying that they love you is that they know it is what you want to hear so that they can use you. As with the first case, they keep you around while you are still useful to them. As you have no way of knowing which one it is, go for the best scenario. They once loved you, but you could not live up to their impossible standards and they fell out of love with you. Number 4. If I've done good, I'm not to be punished. This is a big belief that can cause a lot of trouble for empaths. The belief that if you do something good for the narcissist, they are not to treat you badly. It is a mistaken belief that the world is fair, and if you work hard and pay your dues, you are entitled to your rewards. But if you work hard, you must be promoted or given a bonus or recognized for your efforts. But also that it somehow makes you immune to small mistakes you may have done, or any shortcomings you may have. Yes, you may not be perfect, but surely your accomplishments outweigh your faults. Not to the narcissist. It's a bitter pill to accept you will never be good enough, and the narcissist does not believe that any good you do warrants any recognition. Again, this mistaken belief of a fair world often comes from childhood where love was lacking. Surely, if I behave, my caregiver will not yell or hurt me today. Surely, if I clean the house and do all my homework and do nice things to make it comfortable for them, they will be nice to me tonight. It comes as a shock to the empath that not only does a good deed not guarantee recognition, but it also does not guarantee protection from being attacked or hurt. The truth hits hard when you finally have to accept that your actions means nothing to the narcissist. As you may already believe you are not enough or worthless, all you have is your actions. This is often from you only receiving attention and maybe praise if you are lucky when you do things your caregiver or narcissist wants. Giving up on the narcissist and accepting that neither you nor your actions will ever be enough for them feels like you're giving up on your caregiver finally seeing you and loving you. You have to accept that you are worthy for who you are, and that you have a right to be happy, that you are more than just your past or your current abilities, that you can change and can learn new talents.